Welcome back, everyone. As promised, talking about a new book based right here in the Texas Panhandle by author Taylor Moore. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great, Sheldon. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, yeah, glad to have you here. So you got a new book coming out, but let's talk a little bit about you first, the author. I get the author's story and everything, because you were telling me earlier you've been in the Texas Panhandle for about 10 years now. But it's your experience here in the Panhandle, it's your experience being a Texan, but also maybe a little bit of CIA work that kind of influences some of your writings as well. Can you just tell us a little bit of your story?
Yeah, my books, the whole series is a little bit of everything. Everything about me is in these books. And I grew up on a farm and ranch in Central Texas. And like I said, I moved here about 10 years ago. But before that, I worked about a decade in the intelligence community. So I worked at the CIA, I worked in defense contracting. And then when I came up here, I had to reinvent myself a little bit. And I was working as an oil and gas landman. And so I was getting up, and every day I'd drive up to Canadian, Miami, Perryton, Pampa, places like that. And I was out on these big ranches. And so if you read the book series, for those that know it, there's a little bit of all of that. So I've got the CIA, the military, and I've got oil and gas and agriculture and ranching, and all of that comes and culminates into some fun stories in the books.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about this latest story. So your latest book here, the latest entry in your series here is Ricochet. And you said this is part 3 in a series, correct?
That's part 3, yeah.
Part 3. So tell us a little bit about this newest book. 1, when it's coming out, and 2, what can people expect if they're going to be picking it up?
So Ricochet is out today. They can find this book anywhere books are sold. Burrowing Owl is carrying it. We're going to do a book signing tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. Barnes & Noble, of course, the people that do the Amazon thing can get books there, and Purpose and Passion Boutique. So lots of places to get it. But this is going to be a fun one. I think people are going to enjoy it because it's all about Pantex. And I've had some fun conversations and telling people, you know, about this, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I really want to see what this is about." And I had one person said, "I've been waiting for something to happen there for years," you know. And so big things happen out at Pantex. I won't give too much away, but it basically involves an engineer out there who's being blackmailed for information, and there's a whole reason behind it and why he gets behind this. And Garrett Cole, my protagonist, who is trying to he's originally from Canadian, Texas. He's a rancher. He's former DEA and Green Beret, but he's just trying to have a normal life and get back to the ranch and just take care of his home life. And but he is approached by this guy. It's brokered through a mutual friend that says that he's in trouble. And of course, Garrett knows people in the CIA, and you know that he can help with this. But I'll just put it this way: things sort of unfold rather quickly. And Garrett, before he can pass that baton and give it to the next person to help, Garrett is called upon to protect his home.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, it sounds super interesting. I mean, I know I myself want to like pick it up myself and check it out. So maybe somebody's wanting to come, they're going to pick up this newest book. But like you said, it is part 3 in a series. Is this one of those series? Do they need to start with book 1, or can they just pick up Ricochet and just jump right in?
No, each book is a standalone. So each book will be its own storyline. So you can pick it up and be just fine. I'll always do a little bit of backstory. I try not to go too far into it, but to give people a little bit of backstory that will catch you up real quick. So that's not a problem.
So if anyone wants to get into maybe some of your other works, things like that, where can they go to find out just more about you, more about like the series that you do work on, and just finding out more about you as an author?
Yeah, so my website's a great source for that. It's taylormoorebooks.com, and you can find out more about me, more about each book that's in the series. It's going to have all my upcoming events. So again, I'm going to be doing book signings over the next month here and around the state. So I'll be around. Like I said, I'll be at Burrowing Owl tomorrow, Barnes & Noble, Purpose and Passion. I'll be at the Stumbling Goat on Friday. So if anybody lives up in Canadian and is in that area and wants to come meet me and get a book signed, then they can come by. But a lot of that's in the website.
All right, awesome. I'd say it sounds like you're staying busy. You know, it's going to be really cool. People can come by. And like we were talking a little bit earlier, talking about, you know, stories written in West Texas, about West Texas. Like you said, this features, you know, Pantex around here. There's areas of, you know, Canadian, things like that. You're talking a little bit how it's kind of based in that modern Western style. We were talking about the movie, came back a few years ago, Hell or High Water. Taylor Sheridan, of course, kind of does modern Western. So you kind of emulate that style, if you will, right? Can you tell us more about kind of your genre style?
Yeah, I think that Taylor Sheridan's been a huge influence, particularly the movies. Hell or High Water, Sicario, those kind of Wind River, those have been big influences on me as a writer, just because I love that grittiness. I love that he takes these locations that people don't normally think about, West Texas or you know, North Dakota or wherever these things are set. But I like setting those there, and I like giving people that real feel. This summer I did a course in New York called Your Setting as a Character, and and the Texas High Plains is a character in my novels, and people who write to me that read these from all over the country, all over the world, are saying they want to come live or want to come visit the Texas High Plains and just see it. And I always say, why? You know, every time I write a book, it's essentially trying to, people are getting killed or something bad is happening, but I guess I've written it in a way that is drawing people in, and so I think that's a fun part of the book, and I love to see people who aren't from here get excited about the Texas Panhandle.
Yeah, I mean, we love to see that too. I mean, that's things we think the Texas Panhandle is an area worth getting excited about for sure. So one more question about you, and like I said, this is going to be one, not asking for any state secrets or anything here, but you're saying you have a background in intelligence, and so you said you worked that into your books. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about what you did in the intelligence community and how that influences these stories? Yeah,
so I've worked again for the CIA and I did defense contracting work, and that has really played a big influence in the books. And fortunately for me, I didn't know it at the time, but I've worked in both analysis and operations. So from a writer's perspective, I got to just pull in a little bit of everything from all the worlds, from the political, the geopolitical side to the actual operations type of stuff that, you know, so I went through the different training programs. So I try to put, I don't put any secrets in there, nothing like that. But what I like to do is really, I like to let people know how it feels to be in this world of operations, or what it's like to sit in those meetings when you're talking about these high-level things that are literally life or death. I want to bring the reader in and let them know just how that feels and how it affects the families of the people that do this kind of work.
Well, I think that's fantastic for sure. So can't wait to check out Ricochet, like you said, out today. People can get anywhere they get books. But tell us one more time where they can come get a copy of the book and meet you at the same time.
Yeah, so again, tomorrow, Burrowing Owl in Amarillo. And then I'm going to be at Barnes & Noble this month. I'll be at Stumbling Goat on Friday, Purpose and Passion next weekend. So I don't get any times or anything wrong. Just go to my website, TaylorMooreBooks.com, and it has all that information on there. But even if you don't buy a book, come by, shake my hand, and just introduce yourself, because I love to meet people in the community, and to me that's the most fun part. So anyhow, but I think people are going to really enjoy this book.
Awesome. It definitely sounds like a good one for sure. So thank you for coming and talking
thanks,
to us
Sheldon.
today.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course, yeah, that's right. So Ricochet, you can go and pick up your copy today. Definitely going to be a good one. I'm going to have to get one for myself for sure. But before